Hello, everyone. Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. I'm trying to get ready, and I haven't gotten myself ready. So I'm about to start. Luckily, I don't start till 10 o'clock today, so I've got a little bit of time. Welcome, David, Ricky, Eveline. And yeah, I kind of wondered what you thought about the title of this, David. That's pretty good. Mr. Stevens Class. That's what we're going to talk about today. Why therapy is bad for you. But I have to make coffee. I was trying to go to the restroom. Somebody's in the restroom in our office. The beauty of it in our office is we have a restroom here. I don't have to go down the hall to the main place. But hey, it's great to see everybody. Daniel, good to see you as always. And I'll make my coffee real quick. My favorite. Maybe have a smoke real quick. You know, remember that from last week? A quick smoke. And talk about our days. I've got a really long day, y'all. A really long day. I have 9 people coming in today, and I'm excited for it. 2 of those are couples that I get to see, that I love, and the couples that I see, I see for 90 minutes. Little insight on therapy there. Yeah, so for couples work, when it comes to therapy, for couples work, a while back, several years ago, I realized I am not doing as good as I can in couples work. And I'd see people weekly and sometimes every other week for an hour, and it just wasn't enough. And so I realized I need to change this. And I decided to go to 90-minute sessions. And I know it's expensive. I mean, it's more money, but you know what I did? I went to 90-minute sessions with couples because at an hour we were getting to a peak point and everybody was frustrated or it was intense, a lot was going on, and we had to stop. And so with 90 minutes, we were able to get through a lot of stuff and resolve a lot more. And I only need to see couples every other week a lot of times when I do that. So it's actually, when you consider coming weekly to me as a couple versus every other week for 90 minutes, it's actually less expensive, believe it or not, because it's only 3 hours of therapy, because it's an hour and a half each time, instead of 4 hours of therapy. So they saved it. JC, got my first therapy appointment today. Should I cancel? No. Go. But go with intention. Don't just go and sit in there. Go in and say, here's the reason I'm here. This is what made me make the call to get here. Secondly, this is who I want to be that I'm not today. This is the kind of person or the kind of life I want to have that I don't have today. And then thirdly, ask the person, how would you work with somebody like me towards the end of the session? How would you work with somebody like me? What would the sessions be like? And, tell me how you handle sessions. It's kind of like, do you talk more? Do you listen more? Do you use strategies? Do you process more about emotions and patterns? Do you, just a little bit more about them, I think is always helpful. Hopefully that helps. Do you ever get emotional during therapy? Tyrone, all the time. I feel a lot, and so I don't make the sessions about me, but there are times I see somebody hurting or in addiction or the marriage is falling apart, and it's sad and it hurts, and I will tell them, like, I'm hurting for you right now because I can see what you're going through. So yes, and I also get intense. I get upset. I'll have conflict and confrontation with people. It's never horrible. Well, we've had some stories, but it's never really horrible. Yeah, JC, let me know how it goes. Ricky, I'm severely touch-starved, and it has been having disastrous effects on mental health, and I don't know how to fix it because I have no confidence with approaching women. That's a really good point, Ricky, honestly, that we got to know our love languages and what matters to us and what's important and what we need in terms of touch, quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation, that kind of thing, that we need to know that. And when we don't have it, it can change our mental health. Like, it can make us more depressed. It can make us more anxious. It can make us less confident, like you said. And so it's important to ask people you trust, that you care about, for a hug. Like my guy friends, we all hug and we appreciate each other. And I think touch is an important thing. People can joke about it, laugh about it, do whatever. But a lot of people need touch that never get it. And when that happens, it can be really hard to ask for it. I don't know what divin is, Nat. I don't know what divin is. I don't know what that means. Somebody help me out with divin. Thanks, David. Hey, go to our Patreon page. Consider supporting us on Patreon. I appreciate y'all for that. There's lots of album reviews, reactions coming out. And also RT Mental Breakdown, RT The Vault. We have 2 other channels. Go check those out, please. It helps a ton. We have the Rod Wave album out fully unedited and the edited version's coming out today, I think, but the fully unedited is coming out, or is on Patreon right now for you to see. People complain about the monetary thing of paywall stuff and having to pay for membership, but it gives a lot more content and a lot more connection with people. But secondly, we did, like the Rod Wave thing, we did in a live stream for everybody to see. If you were there, you'd be able to see the whole thing 2 different days. And so if you weren't able to be there, I get it, but then it goes over to Patreon and you can see it there fully unedited. A lot of people have gone to join that, and you can do it for a month if you want. So divin is a couch or a chair. Can you speak about when the person goes on, how the therapist analyze? I think what you're asking is like, how does a therapist work when somebody comes into my couch? By the way, y'all can see this if you want. I do this every time because I don't know that everybody sees what my room is like. That's the door. People come in. Favorite clock, obviously. Get that out of the way so you can see my boys in the picture. And then this is the couch. So there's a chair there if somebody wants their own space. Hardly anybody ever sits there, honestly. Those monkeys are lonely. And then there's the couch over here. It's a beautiful couch. I love this couch. And then there's, of course, I always like showing that. Look at that, y'all. Enjoy. There's the muffin top I have. And that's the office. So I think, Nat, what you're talking about is what is it like? What do we do? Every therapist works different. Every therapist does it different. So some are real direct and talk a lot. Some are problem solvers, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Some are process oriented, where they go through feelings and process past dynamics and patterns in life, things that have happened to people, and we just get into the feeling of it. Some are listeners, and they sit there with their pen and their pad and they write the whole time. It doesn't mean anything's really good or really bad. I'm more of a talker. My wife is less of a talker, but she's super insightful. So her words are very distinct and unique and perfect for the setting. We do the same quality work. We just do it differently. I am not the biggest fan of cognitive behavioral therapy. I think psychodynamic would probably be more of what I fit in, to talk about where have you been in the past, what created your life to be what it is today, what patterns, what abuse, what trauma, what experience has created you to end up in this spot today. And then who do you want to be that you're not, like I said, and what can we do together to help you see how to get there? Because I believe in the power of people. I also do a lot with trauma though. So I'll go through past traumas and do EMDR with that. So I hope that helps. I'm gonna fast forward. Mom, you're in the house. My mom is here. Mary Stevens, that's a great point, Mom. No, I did not ride my bike, but I should have. And I think because we were running late today, I didn't ride my bike. This was a perfect day to ride my e-bike. Y'all, this was the day. But I'm working until 8 o'clock tonight. It'd be dark by then. Jill does not like me riding home in the dark on that bike with the roads that I go past. So I didn't ride my bike because I walked outside today to feel the cool air. And we have a pool in the backyard. And and I saw an umbrella in the pool, basically. We have these big umbrellas that you put up for shade in the summer, and they're down in these holes and there's like 3 of them around the pool, so that if you're in the pool and it's super hot because we don't have trees in the backyard, you can be shaded. One of those massive 10-foot umbrellas was in the pool. So I had to go digging and trying to dig that thing out and bring it down and put it back where it was, because a front came in last night and the wind was blowing, and I guess it blew it straight up out of there and into the pool. I didn't think it was going to be that windy. So that stopped my whole morning. Heather, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Sherry Bandito's here. Love it. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Long time no see, Sherry. Heather, I think I probably saw you yesterday. Well, maybe not, right? Maybe Monday. I don't know if you were in the members only live stream yesterday. I'm so lost. Jill was just talking about us remembering things. She's like, I can't remember this actress in Breakfast at Tiffany's, and she looks just like the girl in Emily in Paris. We're watching Emily in Paris right now because we just went to Paris, right? And it has all these restaurants and places we got to see. And so we have loved watching that show. But I have no idea. Breakfast at Tiffany's, no idea. Kyle, thank you. Thank you. Experience, strength, and hope. I try to share everything that I can. I appreciate that. Have I read Oprah's book? No. You know what the problem is with me? I'm not a good reader. You'd think doing this job I would be a good reader. I'm not, honestly. I do my best. Jill's bookshelf has 1,000 books on it. Mine has 20. It's the way it works. Remember my pet peeve. Don't leave a Keurig cup in the coffee maker when you're done with it. Take it out. That's just me. So, are y'all ready for my lesson today? Oh, Kara, I wish you were my dad. Thank you. That's probably the best compliment I can get, Kara. I'm not kidding you. I'm really being serious, because that means you trust. That means you feel like I show something that would show love and care and compassion, and I do. I try my best. But you'd have to ask my boys, because they're the ones that can really tell if I'm worthy of being that status of dad. Yep, another coffee. There it is. It is the Christmas blend, no, the holiday blend, sorry, from Starbucks, is my favorite all year. I would say the same, but I'm older than Tom. I don't think you are, Sherry. Really? I don't think so. You look pretty young. I don't think so. Yep, clean out those Keurigs. We keep them clean. They're pumping around here all the time. Gosh, just barely, Sherry. I'm 55. Man, we're close. We're close enough, right? Juice WRLD reactions are out. And by the way, I wanted to, Mountain Dew. How's life? It's good. It's good. Life is so good. It's a long day today, but I'm going to take it an hour at a time. I'm going to appreciate it an hour at a time. I don't know when new Suicide Boys. We need to do more Suicide Boys. Please go get Nick and tell him we need to do some more Suicide Boys. Thank you, Hardcore. That's so kind of you. I really appreciate those words. New Juice WRLD, super pumped. Nope, 55. And my wife Jill's 58. She's old. She's your age. So she's older than me. Older woman. To give you the answer to the question of why, what did I say in the beginning? Why therapy is bad for you? Here's why therapy is bad for you. If you don't really want to do it, it's bad for you. If you're there to just make yourself feel better or hear things that are nice and supportive and like you're great and everything's fine, that's bad for you. If you're there to make a problem go away but not change yourself, it's bad for you. Meaning, I'm in a really, I've had an affair and my wife's really mad at me. I don't want her to leave me. So I'm doing this to try to keep my marriage together. Don't do it. It's bad for you. If you're there because you have an addiction and you just want to show that you're getting help, but you're not really trying to change your life and stop that, it's bad for you. I need people to hear this because therapy can be bad for you. It can create unhealthy dependency sometimes. It can create a false sense of security or confidence when you've got that person. If it's a therapist especially that's not honest with you, you need therapists that are going to be honest with you. And when they're not honest with you, sometimes we just want to be nice. I don't say me because I'm a lot more direct, but a lot of therapists just want to help. They just want to be there to listen and support and encourage, but they're not being direct and honest. And sometimes they don't have the skill and talent to be able to know what addiction is or trauma is or complex trauma is. And so they'll tell you things that maybe aren't the best. So that combination is pretty big. Don't forget to like the live stream. I forgot to say that. We have 18 likes and 100 people in here. That thing should be up to 50 in 1 minute. Boost my self-esteem. I say it every single day of the week. Boost my self-esteem by just hitting the like button, and I will feel better about myself. And I know it's counter to what I normally say, but it will help me feel good. Just kidding. But it would be nice if you don't like. It's one easy, free way to say thanks for doing the live stream and to help our algorithm. Commenting helps too. But don't forget, when you don't do therapy, like my friend used to say a long time ago, therapy always works when I'm honest. He'd also say, I'm going to go into therapy today and I'm going to talk about what I don't want to talk about. If you go in with that, you're set. If you go in and talk about what you don't want to talk about, the uncomfortable, the stressful, the hard stuff, it'll help, it'll work. Tiny Ninja, good to see you. Double tap the live. Thank you. I didn't know you could do that. Can I do that? No, I can't double tap. I can't do that. But thank you. Please do that. Let's get the likes up to 100. Yesterday was 100. Monday was 100. 100 likes we got. It's great to see y'all. I've got my coffee. I've got the top half of my muffin here. Blueberry muffin that I'll have. And it'll boost me into today. Please remember though, therapy will not work just by showing up. It's not going to work. And by the way, anybody who says therapy doesn't work hasn't seen the right therapist or they haven't tried. 100%. I don't think you should just spin your wheels and go to therapy week after week, year after year with nothing getting better. But you know what? I've seen certain people who have seen me 5, 6, 7 years. Now, it's not every single week for 5, 6, 7 years. Sometimes it's every other week, once a month. It just skips around. And then their life totally changes. It's not as simple in therapy as to come in and a few months later, everything's totally different. It takes time. Codependency? Ethan? Good question. Get the book Codependent No More. That's a good one. But the way to work with codependency is just like an addiction. You got to treat it like an addiction. What makes me feel better is that connection, that attachment, that contact. I need to be able to be in touch with that person, or I need that other person in my life to like me. It could be a coworker or a friend or family. Codependency doesn't just come in relationships where you're dating somebody or married. Codependency can come with family, friends, coworkers, where you feel like you need that contact, connection, or relationship to feel better. In other words, if our relationship's good, I feel good. If our relationship's bad and you don't like me, something's wrong with me. So you got to work on those boundaries. That's the addiction piece, where I've got to step away and realize that if my self-worth is coming through these other people in relationships, I need to learn to look at myself. And that's learning to have pride in yourself and belief in yourself and understanding that you have more to offer this world than just trying to please other people or stay connected to other people. Having that self-worth, sometimes it's having a mentor or somebody that can show you how to believe in yourself. But sometimes time alone really helps that. That's the rehab piece of what codependency is. Man, what a good question. What's the lowest point in my life? Lowest point in my life? was when I almost lost my marriage and myself. I'm going to leave it at that. One day I need to tell my story. And one day Jill and I need to be on a podcast and tell our story, because it's quite a story to date. But I know what it's like to almost lose everything, honestly. Being in an abusive household, but I can't move out. Yeah, man, Avid, I hear you. I've seen that exact same thing in my office here. And I've seen it to where people are in abusive relationships and they can't go to therapy because the abuser will not let them. They track their finances, they track their location, and they won't let them get help. You know why? Because the therapist is telling them things to build confidence and boundaries and belief in themselves, which goes counter to the abuser being successful and strong. That's what therapy does for you. And I'm so sorry about that. Like, you do not deserve that. And if I could ever get people out of it, and that's why I said in those situations, if you had $1 million, you'd be out of there in a heartbeat, right? But sometimes you're stuck. Whittle away little by little if you can, financially, support from other people, go to support groups, see what kind of therapy you can get, live streams like this. But that is what, I can't stand that. I don't hate a whole lot of things, but I hate abusers like that. But the way, Ricky, to get out of the lowest point in your life is to be able to see what life would be like if you weren't in the lowest. What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to look like? That's the biggest thing, and keeping that out there. And what will it take to get to that? You know, I want to believe in myself. Well, sometimes it takes reading, it takes writing, it takes therapy, it takes, listening to podcasts, it takes, inner self dialogue of you are worth something. You don't have to live in the gutter. Thank you, Daniel. That's so kind of you, man. That's good, Sherry. Man, that's really good. That's sad. It's good, but man, for you to be able to get out and get away, you deserve it. How do I know if I'm with the right therapist? I've been seeing one for a month now, and I don't think it's helped, or if it's just myself. Go in and say that. I would want somebody to come into a session with me and say, I don't know if this is helping me. You're the client, you're the customer. Like, go in and say, I feel like I'm stuck here. Like, I don't know where we've gone. And a lot of times that happens because you don't have a treatment plan. You don't have a roadmap. I always tell people, it's like Google Maps, right? You're telling me where you're at and how you got here. How did you drive to this point? And on Google Maps, you pick a point to go to, right? And you're going to tell me the destination you want to go to. In other words, here's where I want my life to be that it's not. And I am going to chart the course. When you look at Google Maps, it gives you a few options. I'm going to chart the course and say, how are we going to walk down this course? Where are we going to drive? I'll give you 3 options or whatever. I'll tell you what I would do. How does that sound to you? When you have that, therapy can go pretty well. But a lot of times it's because you go in and you'll just talk about life and the therapist listens and there's no real path. There's no real treatment plan. That's what you want. Hopefully that helps, King. Also with the personality, vibing with them. Do they fit with your personality? How do you balance your own mental health well-being, helping others? It takes a lot of work. That's a great question, HT. It takes a lot of work. We have to have our own hobbies outside. We have to have our own time outside. We have to shut down work when we're not here to live life, to be a husband, wife, to be a parent, to be a friend. We're having a Halloween party this Saturday, costume party for us adults to hang out and play board games and stuff. I know, goofy, weird, whatever, but it's fun. We have food, we hang out, we enjoy life together. So it takes a lot of balance. I like to play golf. Got to play golf with Nick yesterday. I like to hang out in the pool when it's warm enough. I like to ride my bike. I like to go driving with Jill and shopping. That's fun, even if we don't buy anything. Therapy's been a trip that I wasn't expecting. The destination has changed. That's true. It can shift. And that's where you stop and say, I feel like I need to go in another direction. I don't really think I want to talk about this today. It's not just up to the therapist to say, you can say, I really want to talk about my relationship with my parents or my job and the stress around that. Juice WRLD was my therapist. Love it. Bubble Clouds. Good to see you. There's a lot here. So there are reasons therapy's bad for you. There are. Yeah, therapy's good for anxiety, though. It can help. Man, there's a lot of comments. Making friends is tough. Why was Tiny Ninja timed out, David? She's never timed out. Ladybugs. Thanks for the love last night. Who is that for, Ladybugs? Who gave you love last night? What did I miss out on? Yeah, BetterHelp can help. Anything. Just keep looking. She knows? What in the world did I miss out on? See, I don't read the dang Snapchat thing. See, now my codependency is kicking in. Codependency. Tiny Ninja's back. Y'all are so funny. It's so great to see y'all. Remember this, y'all. Therapy is good when it's intentional. Don't just judge therapy. Number one, because you've never had it, or number two, because you had it and it was bad. Go to another one and say, this is what I want to get out of this. This is who I want to be, or this is how I want my life to be. That's all. No kidding. We need more likes, y'all. Just hit the like button right there. Just wait, it's right here. Boop. Just hit that. Hit the like button. Henrock. Love your channel and give dope reactions. Thank you so much. Ricky, 15 months. What's your secret to a long, loving, healthy, and happy relationship? Chewy, two things for a successful relationship. Commitment, which is never give up. You have to have an attitude of never giving up, unless it's an extreme, but let's not talk about the extremes right now. Commitment, meaning I'm not here to just pick up my toys and leave because I don't like today. And flexibility. Flexibility is different than compromise. Flexibility is appreciating that the other person has needs also, and I want to value their needs. And so if I'm being flexible, rather than compromise is like, okay, you win this time, but I'll get it next time. It's a tit for tat. Flexibility is like, I'm really going to see if this matters so much more to them than it does to me. And if it matters more to me, I'm going to stick with it and we'll keep talking about it. But it's not just a, no, I want my way. Congrats, Ricky. But when you don't know anymore who you want to be, I lost myself completely. I was the helper, the open ear for all, and now I'm in body and mind so broken. How do I get the helper? How did I get the helper? I think you just got to go back to basics on that. You got to go back and like start writing a little bit about who you've been, that you've lost, who you want to be. That's why therapy can help. Support groups can help that a lot. Honestly. Jinxie Blue, thank you so much for the donation. That is more kind than I can ever ask for. Anything is so sweet. I love the channel, Tom. I hope you're well. Will there be any reaction to Jelly Roll's new album, Beautifully Broken? It's an incredible album. What's your advice on seeing a psychologist but feel if it's not being helpful? Number one, let's do Jelly Roll. Nick, we need to put Jelly Roll on the list, please. Jelly Roll would be great. I love Jelly Roll. I want to meet him one day. Secondly, so I think we will be doing that. I think it just is in the queue. Advice on seeing a psychologist. I think, like I said before, you got to go in. Go in with these three things. Number one, here's what made me make the call to get help. This is what's happened. Number two, here's who I want to be in life, or here's how I want my life to look like that it doesn't right now. That's my goal. And number three, talk to me a little bit about how you can help me get there. Like what, I know you can't fix problems as a psychologist or therapist, but what's your path? How do you work that helps me get from point A to point B, the Google Maps thing? How would you chart a course for me? And that will help a lot. If it's not being helpful, is it a personality conflict, or is it something that you're just, the person works differently than you need? I'm a talker. So if people really need to talk, I close my mouth and I listen, but there are some therapists that are listeners and they don't offer as much insight. And there are some that are cognitive behavioral, right? Gosh, only a couple minutes left. Some that are CBT and they want a problem, solution. And they go back and forth. And some people are like, I don't want to just have problem, solution. I want to talk through this. I want to process it. I want to spend time in it. Do you want trauma work? So it is important to ask questions. Man, that is so nice of you. Thank Jinxie. That's awesome. And let's do some Jelly Roll, shall we? Ketamine, I think it can be helpful if it's watched over by somebody, not just using on your own, obviously. But I've actually seen people who it's worked great for, and I've seen people that it worked at zero for, honestly. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, probably need to change the title, Sherry. That's true. Oh man, too much clickbait, right? What do you mean if it's a personality thing? If the personality of the therapist rubs you the wrong way, if somebody is not, they joke a lot, or they are super serious a lot as a therapist, and you feel uncomfortable because you can't just be honest and open. If they are prim and proper and you are not. Like I've seen people who, like, I wear jeans and I'm chill at work and I take my time, and I can see an attorney who's, got millions of dollars, and I can see somebody who has an hourly wage job, and I just adjust to their personality so that we can relate and connect. Jinxie again? What? Thank you so much for that. That means so much. Thank you for your kind words, Tom. I will ask those questions. Yes, bring those in. You're the customer, you're the client. So if it's a personality thing, it's like, does this person vibe with me? Do I feel comfortable when I leave? Did I feel good in there? Sometimes you go in to see therapists or doctors or something, it's like, man, they didn't understand. They didn't get me at all. They didn't even try to get me. Lady that did my evaluation was the first person who ever said my drug use was a symptom of my issues instead of the cause. That's what I mean, David. That's the personality click. Yeah, it does take time. Come on, Kai, get that job. You got this. You go in believing that job is yours. You go in invested, interested. Remember, you go into a job interview with passion, with willingness to work, dedication and commitment, and telling them you want to be a part of this team, and that you are totally teachable. That's what you need in a job interview. Yes, correct, therapy is bad for you. Vishru, so sad for you. That would be therapy would be bad for you, Vishru. Saying that would make therapy bad for you, because you wouldn't go in wanting to get therapy, and that's, so I would say don't do it. Don't do it if you're not really willing to get in there and do it. Thank you so much, Armonica. Appreciate that. That means a lot. That was nice to share. I mean, I appreciate the vulnerability of people. Heather, go to the reaction therapy support group too. We have a support group. Have a Zoom call every single week, y'all. And we talk about anxiety, stress, depression, addiction, blah, 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 all that stuff. RT support group. Go to Patreon. It is one of the best things you could ever have that is not actually having to go to therapy, but is virtual. Okay, oh man, I gotta go. Appreciate y'all so much, honestly. Thanks, King. I wish I could be your therapist too. I love my therapist, and you have actually influenced me sometimes. Thank you, Vampire. Appreciate it. Ryan Estrada, good to see you. Support group, see? Reaction Therapy Support Group. Go check it out. It's on Patreon. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you on the next Reaction Therapy.